Okay, I think, Steph, we can go ahead and get started.
Okay. Let me.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Commissioner Dillard,
Present.
Commissioner Gathua, Commissioner Harris,
Here.
Commissioner Johnson,
Here.
Commissioner Krebs,
Here.
Commissioner Merritt,
Here.
Commissioner Nobis,
Present.
Commissioner Rivera,
Here.
and Commissioner Traore. Okay.
Awesome, so we'll go ahead to agenda item number 2, reading of Native American land acknowledgement. And it says, "We meet today in the community of Iowa City, which now occupies the homelands of the Native American nations to whom we owe our commitment and dedication. The area of Iowa City was within the homelands of the Iowa, Meskwaki, and Sauk. And because history is complex and time goes far back beyond memory, we also acknowledge the ancient connections of many other indigenous peoples here. The history of broken treaties and forced removal that dispossessed indigenous peoples of their homelands was and is an act of colonization and genocide that we cannot erase. We implore the Iowa City community to commit to understanding and addressing these injustices as we work toward equity, restoration, and reparations." Next, we will move to the approval of meeting minutes from January 19th, 2022. Do I have, what's the word I'm looking for?
I move.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second to pass the meeting minutes.
Been properly moved and seconded to approve the meeting minutes from January 19th. Commissioner Dillard,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Krebs,
Yes.
Commissioner Merritt,
Yes.
Commissioner Nobis,
Yes.
and Commissioner Rivera.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Next, we'll move to public comment of items not on the agenda. First, we'll move to people in the room with us. Is there anyone in the room that'd like to make a comment not on the agenda? Thank you. Is there anyone online that would also like to make any comments not on our agenda tonight? Okay. So next, we'll move on to number 5, which is facilitator services proposal, just to give us an update. I move that we'll go to Annie in the room right now for that. Yes.
So I wanted to let you know what's going on. Last week, Jeff Ruan sent out a letter with questions related to creating a contract with each of the groups involved. So Kearns and West, Think Peace, which is Eduardo and Dave, the three of us, the local partners, and then the native partners that Sakawas introduced us to. So Terry Medina, Manape, who you met, Manape Lemire, and Danielle Wanati. And so, anyway, last week, the three of us, Angie and V and I, met and looked at the questions and answered them and prepared, and everybody's working on their own sections. We had some ideas for the native partners, and we're reaching out to them, and finally this morning I was able to, or last night, talk with Manape, and then today Danielle, and tomorrow I'll talk with T. So actually, so that's moving ahead. And he wants the answers to those questions so that he can finalize contract stuff and make sure that details are crisp for the council. So that's what's happening. And just as an aside, it was really heartening to talk to Manape for a long time about what he sees and his understanding of things. It was really great. And I look forward to the time when you guys have more time with the people who want to be percolating with you about how you want to go about this. Anyway, I'm just bring word from Manape that that's going to be a great conversation, I think. So anyway, any questions?
Well, thank you so much for the updates, and as always, we look forward to when we can get this moving along.
I know, right? So,
They're close.
so I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to get our parts in maybe as early as tomorrow to Jeff.
Okay.
The latest would be Monday, because we want to be moving too,
Thank you, Annie.
and we want you to be moving.
In conversations with city manager, has there been kind of a projected timeline on, or updated timeline on kind of when kind of the various next steps might be approaching?
Thank you, what a good question. I don't know the answer to that, but it's what we all expect on one level, the sooner, right? So,
And then my other question was, a long time ago, there was discussion about to what extent Angie could be involved in these contracts, given a potential conflict of interest.
Thanks,
Do you have any
Kevo.
updates on that?
yeah, so the parts that she was going to do and that she's still going to do, she's just going to do gratis. And a lot of the tasks that she was going to do became part of the job description for the staff person. And I was wondering myself how soon that would be able to get together. Probably the budget and the proposal I don't know. That's a good question. It would seem like that could actually, it's in a different lane, so could go ahead at a different pace. But that would be a good question. Anything else?
Just a note to my fellow commissioners is we should definitely, make sure that we are aware of what's going on with that part of the contract and, the hiring process, just because we should not let any other Black women do free work on behalf of this commission.
Right. Right. And you know the reason, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And so it is full choice in
Yes.
wanting to support. So I hear you, and I'm just saying yes and.
And I
Yours is
fully
up there.
choose to make sure that we will not, we'll do what we can to make sure that she is compensated appropriately.
Great. Well, okay, yes.
And maybe for those who were not a part of the commission, could you re-explain to us all why
The conflict of
the
interest.
conflict of interest for Angie again?
Right, her husband is a firefighter for the city. So because she's married to a city employee, she can't contract separately with the city.
Okay.
And therein lies a conversation on many levels that could be had, but that's the way it is right now, and she still wants to be involved.
Thank you.
Thank you. I see that Sakaus has a question, if you'd like to go ahead. Commissioner
Sakaus?
Novus?
I don't have a question, sorry. Is my hand up?
Oh, it
That's me.
was.
No,
Yes.
it was the mouse.
Oh,
It was the
That's me.
Oh, it was an accident. Okay. Is that you, Eric? I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Yes.
Commissioner Harris.
I'm good.
So just speaking on like conflicts of interest and, someone's spouse is a city employee and things like that. My question is, and it may be a dumb question, but I got to ask it. Does that affect V because she's a county supervisor and then she's going to be a facilitator for a commission? I just thought of that when I listened to this conversation.
I personally haven't heard that come up, but
Me
I'll...
neither. That's why I asked it.
Yeah. So I'll ask her.
Yeah, let's get that clear. We don't want to
Yeah,
go into
I'm
no
not
snacks.
aware- I'm not aware of any.
She-
conflict.
Right.
She's
Like
counting and this is
nothing has...
city.
Excuse me, what?
She's county and this is city, so it actually is different.
Of course. And we haven't heard
Okay.
anything from anyone who's fully aware. People who think like that are fully aware of her new position. I think that's a good
Okay.
question, Eric. I have my laptop, so I'll just email her so that we get it hot off the presses, but I haven't heard anything either.
Another clarifying question, just for my own knowledge, do you know if V uses both she, her, and they, them pronouns, or
They?
they?
Sorry. Thank you. Thank you.
Just a friendly reminder to speak into the microphone, please. Thank you.
Any other questions from fellow commissioners?
Angie, have you heard anything, not Angie, I'm sorry, Steph, have you heard anything from like the city attorney's side of how things are going?
Well, they're waiting to get the responses, and depending on the responses, I think that will kind of determine next steps.
Have they gotten, they've gotten some though, correct?
No, there hasn't been any responses.
So they'll get them by tomorrow or Monday at the latest. Thank you.
Okay. Well, if there's no other further questions, I think that's all we have for this agenda item. Thank you very much, Annie.
Sure. Good to see you all.
Thank you. And then because I didn't do it at the beginning, I'm going to open it up to public comments for this agenda item. If there's anyone online that would like to comment on this. Okay. We will now move on to number 6, which is a correspondence. If there's anyone in the present audience that would like to comment on this for public comments first. Anyone online that would like to comment on this? Okay, well, I will open it up to fellow commissioners. This correspondence is in regards to a public letter condemning comment made by Professor Clarence Crater calling for suspension and internal investigation. If you want to open up your packet.
I'll start by, I don't exactly know who some of the individuals are who were involved in the group who forwarded us this open letter, but I'm just appreciative of that they thought to include us and to make us aware of this so that we could discuss it. Reading the agenda is my first time reviewing the letter and the comments that were made by Professor Claire Crater in the Department of Family Medicine at the University of Iowa. I just reached out to a contact who's in family medicine, and apparently Dr. Crater is retired. I don't have a lot of other independent ways of verifying some of this information, but I am certainly troubled by the comments as someone who represents the University of Iowa, who's also my employer. I have forwarded this correspondence to the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at the Carver College of Medicine, and I'm going to follow up to see if there's going to be any other sort of institutional follow-up action. But I know that this letter was addressed to higher administrative staff with the university, so hopefully we'll find more in weeks about whether other action might be taken.
This is Commissioner Merritt, and I pulled him up on the College of Medicine website, under Department of Family Medicine, and it shows as if he's still active as a professor. There's nothing here that says that he's retired or emeritus, so.
This is Commissioner Dillard. I also have not had the chance to read this full correspondence, but I can reach out also to the people that have emailed us if we all agree, and just ask them to come talk to us as people have in the past. And also maybe if there's a group of us under quorum that would like to take this on as a subcommittee, to just meet with them and just really see how we can be more of assistance, and then bring it to our next meeting or the meeting after. I think that would be the best way to move forward. If
I'd like to be with that, please.
Okay. Awesome. So are we in agreement that would be a good next step for this? And also thank you, Commissioner Rivera, for reaching out to your contacts.
Yeah, I definitely would want to speak with them, whether they come to a meeting or we go speak to them. I'm reading this letter right now. This doesn't make sense. It's ridiculous.
Awesome. So, like I said, I will reach out and see to the best of my ability. I did not receive the email in my email, so I'm going to figure that out, and then I'm not sure why, so that we can hopefully get them here to talk more about this and have a conversation at our next meeting to see how the Truth and Reconciliation Commission can actually be of service to them. But I am happy to see that people are finding us and like reaching out to us so we can fulfill our mission. Go ahead. You might want to speak in the mic though, sorry.
This is Mohammed. I just have one clarifying comment. So just that it's titled Public Letter Condemning Comment made by Professor Clarence Kreider calling for suspension and internal investigation. So in terms of the committee that's going to go over this or the people that are focusing on it, just something to keep in mind. One, calling for the suspension and internal investigation. Thinking about the process and the monetary aspect of that, and if that sets precedent on what the commission does, and if if that's the direction we're willing to go or wanting to go, that's fine. But just some things to consider.
Can you clarify what you mean by that, just so I understand?
I just mean because there's different types of commissions and different structures to them and different ways they operate. And not all of them acted in ways where their recommendations or their actions or things, they continually focused on were for punitive action specifically. Mm-hmm. So that's just what I mean in that sense.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm.
This, Commissioner Merritt, what I took from the letter is that they want us to have the university encourage them to do an internal investigation and the suspension, not that we would be doing the action, because they just talked about these items were against the policy. I think they gave examples of whatever, and so I think that's how I took this, that they wanted us to try to encourage the university to do the investigation, but we can get that more clarification after we actually talk to them.
Okay. Yeah.
As far as I'm
guess.
aware, this was sent to us so that we might be considering signing on as individual co-signers of the letter, or we as a body want to co-sign the letter. I don't know if that's worth a larger discussion, but the letter as addressed is to Barbara Wilson, Brooks Jackson, Edith Parker, Sarah Sanders, and Ms. Tovar. Mm-hmm. So they're not asking us to investigate anything.
Okay. Yeah. I just mean in terms of if anyone was taking it on as commission business, I just mean in the sense of the direction commissions go is the truth part, but also the reconciliation part. So, So think of that end of, it might not end with just the investigation part, but also following along and the next steps and everything. Because this kind of just smells to me more of one of those things with being Facebook comments that are being pointed to for the most part. There's probably more people that think in some of these ways, but just don't post it, and just going directly for the punitive action without some sort of actual reconciliatory effort, just kind of inflames things a little more, or just makes some people in the community feel some type of way. I'm not saying that, have to be partial towards them, but, just the territory we're in.
I'd also bring in sort of the complexity of understanding that we as a city body that, we're not elected officials, however, we are representatives of the city, and, we do have a responsibility to make sure that people's constitutional rights are upheld.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. My opinion is, just my opinion, we're here to hear truth. So the university, they're going to have an internal investigation, which we all know that most internal investigations, a lot of the details are kept secret. They're not really, then they come to a conclusion at the end, but you never know about that internal investigation. So I do want to hear from the people so they can tell their truth. And as far as the part about reconciliation, they don't have to go out and hate this guy. This needs to be the investigation, and maybe they can move on from this. it has to be said and the truth has to be let out, because then maybe you have a chance to move on, and maybe everybody can learn a lesson, and these type of things wouldn't have to happen no more. But I do feel that I do want to hear from the people, because they're going to do their own internal investigation, and they're going to come up with what they want to come up with.
It's worth asking if we do follow up with this group to see like what else sort of they would be asking, and if they would be interested in some sort of reconciliatory process with Professor Creeder. I think that's kind of our best method of like approaching this, is really standing by the method of how we produce change and better relationships in our community.
I agree.
I agree. That's the way I wanted to end too. They just have a reconciliation with them. I don't want to. That's the way I think it should end.
Great. So, like I said, I will reach out to them and see if they're open to having a further conversation with, reconciliation in mind, and to see exactly how they are envisioning we play our part in this. Are there any other comments or questions on this agenda item? Okay. If not, then we'll move on to the next one, which is agenda item number 7, follow up on the testimony from the meeting of January 19th. First, I'll open up public comments to people in the room with us. And if there are no comments in the room, we'll go online. If anyone wants to comment online. Okay, if not, I will open it up to commissioners. I believe everyone received an email from Stephanie. I reached out to her and asked about there was a couple legal questions about if we could move forward with the testimony from our last meeting with the woman who experienced what she considered racism at her place of employment. Did everyone receive that email? Do I need to read it out loud?
That'd be nice. Thank you.
Okay, if you give me one moment, I will find it. Okay. Stephanie wrote, Commissioners, I spoke with the city attorney's office and they are okay with the TRC referring them to resources as long as they are trusted community partners or attorneys competent to practice in the field. Because the TRC plans on asking council to approve consultants to assist them with formulating a structure to receive said testimony, having them speak again or bringing others forward is doing things in the wrong order. To avoid any problems with the city entity weighing in on a matter already being litigated and of which the TRC has not investigated would be better addressed with the consultants who will be assisting the TRC in setting up a process. So go ahead.
To me, it sounds like this might be the perfect first case for our facilitators as soon as we get them on board. That is, after reading that email, that's my first thought. I don't know if anybody else thought the same thing, but.
Yeah, I just thought like, hey, let's get a budget if we want us to do things like that. That's my first thought. That would be great.
Any other thoughts? Go ahead.
Yeah, in relation to that, because the individual concerned, she won't just wait until we have the facilitator. I'll share an update on the organizations that that she went to. So one of them is Legal Aid, because again and again, whenever she had been going, and she mentioned that here when she was speaking, unfortunately, they had a conflict, so they were not able to do anything beyond sharing that, because the protocol doesn't even allow them to explain the conflict. And when she was explaining her, when she was sharing her testimony, she also went to Center for Worker Justice, and they are working with her on that. Yeah, so, and she also went to, I also referred her to Iowa Workforce, so, who are also working with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I want to leave it there. Yeah.
Thank you for the update.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that she is working with, as I think was listed, trusted community partners to help with the litigation part. And if it's needed, maybe when we do have our facilitator, she can, if a testimony, sharing her truth is needed, that's something I believe we can provide in the future. So.
Yeah, and I'll pass on her, that she keeps thanking the TRC for listening to her. Mm-hmm. And what we did for her. And by looking at her, the interactions I've had with her, she looks much happier about the process, to me. Yeah.
That's good.
Great to hear. Any other comments on this agenda item? Okay, I'll move on to the next agenda item, number 8, the Iowa City Community School District Elementary School Performance Incident. First, I will go to public comments. No, and then I'll go online if there's anyone online that would like to comment. All right, if not, I'll let fellow commissioners take the floor and just give us an update.
Commissioner Krebs here. So we attended the school board meeting Tuesday, I believe it was the 31st, and we spoke our testimony in front of the school board. SACAWS provided the recommendations. I will be meeting with Matt Degner tomorrow, and the equity committee for the school reached out, and I'll be joining a meeting with them on March 1st, so I'll have more information, going forward. Nothing's, planned yet, but we're moving along.
Awesome, thank you for the update. Commissioner Nobis, did you have anything you wanted to say?
No, I think Marie gave a good overview. I guess I just want to add that we've been working with a youth from the district that goes to City High, and it's been really great to see how powerful they are. And I really want to see if the school board is going to do any of these things. I'm very curious to see how that turns out. I'm really tired of people calling this stuff out with no action being taken. So this would be interesting. I'm very, I'd like to see what happens. I can't be at the meeting with the superintendent. I'm actually driving right now to a reservation in South Dakota, but I will be there for the one with the equity committee. And I just want to say thank you to those of you, other commissioners, who attended school board meetings and provided support. I think that's amazing. And I think we're going to be on the agenda of the next meeting. Is that correct, Commissioner Krebs?
I haven't had anything confirmed. When I was emailing with Ruthina Malone, and she wanted us to, meet with Matt Degner, and before we could be actually put on the agenda. So I think they kind of want, from what I understand, I think they kind of want, an action plan to speak on. I will follow up with her.
We have an updated letter as well that's on the Great Plains Action Society website. So I would refer, if you want to refer people to, the letter, that's a great spot to go. It's on our blog. So I guess, yeah, we just have to make sure that the superintendent gets the updated letter. In fact, I think I'm going to go in there and put bullet points for our demands, so it's very clear about what we're asking for. But I'll do that when I get off the road here. And then the one last thing I wanted to say, what was it now? About being on the agenda. Oh, that's it. I wanted to talk about the press coverage. I'm really happy to see that, the Daily Iowan has taken some interest, and, that they were very good at really getting our voices heard, like our real voices. I often hate interviews because, you never come out sounding like you want, or they never catch on to the things that are meaningful to you, but I think they did a great job of this. So if you all haven't read it, yeah, please take a look. I think that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you all.
And I'll be planning to attend with Commissioner Krebs to talk to the superintendent.
I wanted to say, Commissioner Marie here, I really appreciated the support also. My background I've kind of been like a solo justice fighter, if you will. And having a support system was literally amazing. It's so amazing. I can't even tell you guys how amazing that feels. So thank you.
I want to piggyback on what Marie you said, and I'm just thinking about since when this incident started, and as we continue, as it continues being worked on it, I'm thinking on the trauma on the students, and especially since at the board meeting, we had a student, and I'm saying this because it was a public meeting, and she did say herself, the student, that she's a student, and gave her testimony. And even those of us who were there, we saw how already she was being affected. And we could also relate at some level because those of us who were there, we also got triggered. Some of us started shedding tears. So I'm interested on us not forgetting the trauma that the affected students are going through, and finding out what the school is doing. I'm not talking about the details, but just what are you doing about this? Probably the district is already doing something, but it would be good to know that. Yeah.
So just to clarify, are you thinking of like supports for the students for the
with them,
just the distress
counseling.
that they deal with?
Counseling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a really good idea.
This is Commissioner Merritt. I think we also talked about getting on maybe the agenda with the city council, since the letter went to the city and we responded. And from what I heard from my contact, Stephanie is the person that we need to talk to about how to go about on getting on the agenda for a city council meeting.
So a board or commission doesn't really have the authority to get on a council agenda. You could go to a council meeting and talk to items not on the agenda.
Okay.
And, make requests or something. I think it would probably be something, if the council chose to meet with the TRC, it would be at a work session, not at a formal meeting. But, you know, you can make a recommendation request. That's how it's been done in the past. Or you can, you know, talk on items not on the agenda at any formal council meeting.
So we become talk on the items that are not on the agenda, and at that point, we could be asking, knowing that they can't respond, whatever, but we could ask that, you know, if we could work in the future as in a workshop to discuss. Okay. I'm good with that.
Are there any other
Chair,
comments?
if it's okay, I wanted to ask a follow-up question of Stephanie. Stephanie, if an individual talks on the items not on the agenda, does it always get on the agenda, that route?
Well, members of the TRC could go to a formal meeting and ask, and then it's up to council whether or not they would want to set up a work session. So, I mean, it's similar to kind of how you're set up. Like, a community member can ask you to put something on your agenda, but ultimately it's, you know, within your purview whether you put it on. The difference is that council usually wouldn't have open dialogue of this type at a formal meeting. It would probably be at a work session. And if action comes out of the conversation at the work session, then there may be action items that would then be placed on a formal council agenda. But that's kind of how that works.
Thank you.
And now I've got a follow-up question. If we come and speak, you know, items not on the agenda, with what we say, which I know there's like a time limit and stuff, but does it become part of the minutes of that meeting? Okay. Thanks.
Any other comments on this agenda item? Okay, well, again, thank you for the updates, everyone, and we'll just be sure to keep this on the coming agendas. Next, we are going to move into the reading that we've been doing, A Practical Guide to Planning Collaborative Initiatives to Advance Racial Equity, Section Edition 2022 discussion. I unfortunately forgot my book at home, but I was wondering if anyone had any comments on the next section.
I didn't get a chance to read Chapter 3 between meetings, so I'll just be including summary for 3 with 4 at the next meeting.
Thank you for that. Does anyone else have any comments on Section 3? Okay. Well, if there's nothing, we will move on to the next. And I didn't see anyone online. We'll move on to the final, which is announcements of commissioners and staff. First, Stephanie, do you have any announcements for us?
Well, just an FYI, I have a conflict for your next meeting, and I will follow up with the city manager's office to see if they can have somebody sub or, you know, but that would be the goal, to keep you on schedule. But if not, I don't, and this isn't an agenda item, but you may get an email from me asking if you would consider moving it to either the following week, which I believe is the 23rd, or something of that nature. But if somebody in the CMO's office can come and do it, then that will keep you on schedule. So I will know more tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Fellow commissioners, any announcements?
Yeah, I got one. A while back, maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago, a lady had called me, and and I guess her husband had passed away. And so she knows that, you know, at times, you know, I work with Inside Out, or I might work with the Iowa Catholic Worker House. Well, she donated me about 30 to 40 suits with belts, all the accessories. The only thing is that the husband, he was big and tall. So what I'm saying is, if anybody knows anybody that wants to get some suits given to them, get a hold of me. Because if not, then my wife is going to keep on yelling about all these suits in the house. and they're pretty nice too.
Thank you, Commissioner Harris. Anyone else?
This is Commissioner Johnson. I just want to say thank you to City Council on looking into the city ordinance to help out with the Golden Gloves as of right now to make sure that everything clears. I just want to say thank you for swiftly looking over things, and hopefully things will pass through even further later on down the line. So just want to say thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. Anyone else? All right, this is.
Sorry. This is Commissioner Rivera. Happy Black History Month. And I know that there's, once again, kind of national news that are harrowing for communities nationwide. And so I just want to hold space for kind of whatever grieving you as an individual or among your communities are doing. And I hope that we're all taking care of ourselves.
Thank you, Commissioner Rivera. Anyone else? I will go as Commissioner Dillard. This morning, I went to the Johnson County Supervisors and accepted the Black History Month proclamation, which I have in front of me that you all can look at. And as you know, Commissioner Rivera just pointed out, happy Black History Month, but it does, come at another time of sadness. So I hope we're all taking care of ourselves and just remembering how important this commission is for months to come. So. And then also, my organization in celebration of Black History Month is having a Heart and Soul full breakfast on Valentine's Day at our Broadway Neighborhood Center from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. This is for everyone. It's really geared towards the families and youth that come to our centers, but the whole community can come out. If you want more information, just follow up with me. If there's no other comments, I will look for a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
In a second.
A second.
All right.